Don.
I think she heard.
Our performer today is Madison Makanaokahaku Scott. And that's her Hawaiian name. Haina maine anakapawana is a line near the end of almost every Hawaiian song. It means, and so the story is told. 9 years ago, a teenage blind girl from Cambria on the Central Coast noticed this little phrase as she began listening to the music of Hawaii. Madison Scott's musical curiosity drew her to the sounds of the instruments, of the language, of the chants, and of the voices of Hawaii. She began a voyage of discovery like the Polynesian voyagers of old, to find her way thousands of miles across the Pacific Ocean to the Hawaiian Islands and to the cultural values and stories of its people. Madison chose to pursue Olelo Hawaii as her foreign language for a high school, seeking our native speakers to connect with who could help her navigate the waters. Many have embraced her with aloha, as she has embraced Hawaiian communities wherever she has found them, both in the islands and elsewhere. And she has begun her story. Madison.
All right.
Aloha!
Aloha!
Thank you, and as the Hawaiians say, mahalo, nui loa. Thank you very much for coming today. And I am super excited to be able to share my story. And again, I want to say a big thank you to Miss Donna Crocker, a dear friend of mine and my family's, for inviting me to be able to share with you. And I first wanted to mention that God was very kind to allow me to produce a CD. My second Hawaiian CD, which consists of various songs that are my favorite, a lot of favorite traditional Hawaiian songs, and I'd like to start by sharing one of those songs with you. It's a fun song about seaweed, because many Hawaiian people love seaweed, and it's called Ka'uluwehi o Kekai.
Oh
Thank you. Now, I'm sure the question on your minds today is, how in the whole wide world did a native Cambria, Californian, Howley blind girl get interested in the culture? Well, as Miss Donna mentioned, almost 10 years ago, actually, in the fall, my family and I we started off by taking an evening walk in the moonlight. And being blind, I can't see the beauty of the moon or the moonlight. And so often when my parents tell me about the beauty of the moonlight or the sunset, they describe it as like God writing a symphony in the sky. And that really helps me to really think about how beautiful it could be. And so I started becoming curious, like, I'm sure there are a lot of songs about the moon. And I had just received some Glenn Miller CDs from a friend of mine, and listening to like Moonlight Serenade and all kinds of moon songs. There are a lot of songs about the moon. And then I recently also, at the time, got a little MP3 player, kind of like an iPod for the blind. And my papa and I started downloading moon songs in various styles and languages, and there were even songs in German and in Spanish and Italian, and they were all about the moon. Well, at that time, my papa, my father, started working with this gentleman who lives in Southern California, and his name is Andrew, but his Hawaiian name is Pico, and he's become Uncle Pico to me. And Uncle Pico promotes Hawaiian music on the mainland, and Papa started talking with Uncle Pico and sharing with him about my interest in songs about the moon and the moonlight. And Uncle Pico asked, has she ever listened to any Hawaiian songs about the moon? And Papa said no, that wasn't the case. So Uncle Pico gave us several different songs that Papa downloaded for me to listen to, and they were Hawaiian songs about the moon. Some were in English, others were in Hawaiian. And this particular song that I'm going to share with you next is one of my favorite songs that I heard that was about the moon. It's in English, but it's about the beauty of the moon and the moonlight in Honolulu on the north shore of the island of Kauai. When you see Honolulu by moonlight, you will be in heaven by the sea. Every breeze, every wave will whisper, you are mine, don't ever go away. Honolulu, Honolulu moon is lighting, beloved, Kauai. Honolulu, Honolulu moon, aloha nova, Yahweh. Aloha nova, Yahweh. Honolulu moon. Mahalo. So after I listened to the moon songs, I just fell in love with it. And a lot of people talk about when they see something and they absolutely love it, they call it love at first sight. Well, for me, it was love at first listen. I listened to Hawaiian music and I absolutely loved it. And it was really fun. And I simply told my parents after that, I said, you know, I really like this music. This is just beautiful. And I said, I wonder if I'll like any other Hawaiian songs, regardless if they're about the moon or not. So I told my parents that, and Papa told Uncle Pico, and Uncle Pico said, okay. And he proceeded to be so kind and generous to me by giving me his entire collection of Hawaiian songs, approximately around 5,000 Hawaiian songs. I know, quite a lot, huh? It took me 2 years to go through it. And yeah, it was really fun. And so it was really cool. So Uncle Pico has this weekly, or bi-weekly, I guess, podcast called the HawaiianConcertGuide.com, and you can go and you can listen to it, and it's really fun. He interviews Hawaiian musicians, he promotes Hawaiian music on the mainland, he'll tell you, when certain Hawaiian musicians will be performing where on the mainland, and it's just really, really neat. So, of course, I had to divide up these 5,000 Hawaiian songs into like a batch of about 100-ish songs. So the first batch, I just started listening to it, just taking it all in, just loving it. But then by the second batch, I heard the phrase, Ha'ina Iamai Ana Kapuana, like Miss Donna mentioned. And I just, like 9 times out of 10, over and over again, toward the end of a song, Ha'ina Iamai Ana Kapuana. And I heard it over and over, and I noticed that pattern, and I was like, what in the world does this mean? So I went to Papa, and I asked him, I said, Papa, I hear this phrase, what does it mean? And we looked it up online, and it means the story is told. Okay, well, what stories are they telling? That was my next question. Well, what kind of stories are they telling? So we proceeded to look up Hawaiian songs in Hawaiian about various things, and found out, they told various stories about flowers and places. Many songs are about places, though, and people and love, and just a lot of really neat things. And so then I started looking up the words, and I started learning them, and being a language person, I've always been fascinated with languages, and taking French and Spanish and a little bit of whatever, and I've enjoyed them, but Hawaiian just clicked with me, and I just became curious about learning Hawaiian, and I wanted to learn the language because it was just so beautiful, And so I had the amazing God-given privilege and to be homeschooled all of my life, from first grade on, and I was so amazed at what the Lord did. And I just started high school by the time I was getting into this, and I found out that I had to take Hawaiian as my foreign language for high school, or I had to take a foreign language for high school, and the Lord worked it out for me to take Hawaiian language for my foreign language for high school. I mean, it's really unheard of. I mean, a lot of people take Spanish and French, but God allowed me to take Hawaiian. And through a YouTube video from a lady who teaches Hawaiian, she recommended this Hawaiian language curriculum called Nakai Evalu from the University of Hawaii at Hilo. And we ordered the material, and Papa and I started working on it. And then I started learning the language. And then the desire was, of course, to go to Hawaii. I had never been there before at the time. And we went to Hawaii. For the first time, I went with my family in 2011. And that experience alone was incredible. God literally led me to a whole group of Hawaiian speaking people at a Hawaiian immersion school in Kauai, and I got to speak Hawaiian with those people and start to learn it, and it was just amazing, amazing, amazing. And since then, the Lord has allowed me to go to Hawaii now 6 times, and I'm happy to announce that my family and I, God willing, have an upcoming trip this year, mid-August to mid-October, for the 7th time. So Hawaii trip number 7 is coming upon us. Yay! But through all of that too, God has allowed me to have connections with people and speak Hawaiian with various people, and also meet Hawaiian musicians, and even perform. And hopefully, I believe there's a great possibility that I'll be having gigs over there too. And so one of the things though that besides learning the languages is in that, and along with my music, is writing Hawaiian songs. And I'd like to just close with a little song that I wrote for my mother. It talks about the beauty of just the relationship that the Lord has allowed me to have with Mama as her daughter. I'm just so blessed with my family, and it just talks about just Mama's kindness and Mama as a blessing in my life. And this song is called My Beautiful Mama, or Ku'u Mama Nani. Well, does anyone though have any questions?
Did you take music lessons?
Yes, I did. I had the privilege of taking voice from our dear friend Miss Ruth Fleming, who I'm sure many of you know, and piano from my dear friend Emily Fitzgerald. So Yeah, and I'm currently taking jazz from Charlie Shoemake too. So, yeah.
It's wonderful.
Thank you.
Well, I'm Mary Ann. I'm standing here beside you. I have a framed certificate in my hands that says I just want to tell you the program was beautiful. Although I couldn't understand the words, I was very touched, and we just loved it. And thank you for coming.
You're welcome.
It says that the Rotary presents Madison Scott. In appreciation for your presentation, we will be sending a donation to Rotary International in our support of the polio eradication program. So I will hand this certificate to you.
Thank you.
And thank you very much for coming. I guess I have to do something now. I have to say thank you for coming to Rotary today, and go out there and connect the world. Thank you.